We're going to start this puppy up. Clear, prop.
And welcome back to Tip of the Week. Every aircraft with an engine should have a fuel filter. And because every home-built has a unique engine and airframe combination, there is no standard fuel filter, nor is there a standard location to mount that filter. It could be located back near the fuel tank, or on the firewall, or any place in between. But one thing they all have in common: they need to be changed at regular intervals. For a filter that has been in service for a while, you know it can be a real challenge to get the rubber hose connection off an old filter. The hose can be fused to the end of the filter, and even the clamp can be a chore to remove. Even if you do get the hose off, sometimes the end of the hose has just been compromised by the clamp pressure, and the best thing to do is just cut it off and start with a fresh end. So here's our problem. If the filter is hard to change and in a difficult location to reach, there's a good chance it's not going to be changed on frequent intervals. So in this tip, we look at a solution that addresses that problem: the quick disconnect for your fuel filter, instead of using the hardware store clamps on our rubber hoses. Let's take a look. Let's talk about some of the components of the quick disconnect system. As an example, here is an automotive fuel filter. Now this fits a 2005 Mustang as an example. One way to identify a filter that takes a quick disconnect fitting is by noting this ridge, this metal ridge. It's located almost exactly 3/4 of an inch from the tip, and that will be on both sides. This obviously is the type of connection that you would not mistake for a barbed fitting. In other words, you're not going to try and push a hose beyond this ring. It simply won't go, at least not very nicely. So it can only be fitted with a special quick connect fastener, which we'll look at shortly. Now, this filter, as it comes from an automobile application, is suitable for fuel injected pressures, of course, and also flow rates adequate for a V8 engine. So the applicability to our aircraft is going to be very nice in this regard. Here is the quick connect fitting. Now, this is available at all auto parts stores. You can get it at Amazon. Think of how many Fords there are out there in the field. So these are extremely popular. One end has the hose attachment. Now for this one, it's made for a fuel hose with a barb connection, so you're going to slide it over and use a regular conventional clamp on there. The other side is what's going to work very nicely with our fuel filter connection. Now, when you order these, you specify two sizes. The size of the hose you're going to connect, in this case this is a 5/16, and then the size of the connection in here. In this example, this is a 3/8. So you can also get this piece for a 3/8 hose and a 3/8 metal connection here. So just be aware when ordering these, you need to specify the two different sizes. Now, this comes with actually two parts to it. If I squeeze this, I can remove the clip, as they call it. as well as this part is also plastic, and it just inserts in there. Now I know it's hard to see, but if you look way in there, there's a couple of O-rings near the bottom of this, way back in this area here. Those O-rings are going to create a really nice seal around the metal stem here. So I'm going to reinsert the clip back inside, and then when we attach it to our filter, we simply place it on and push. It will click and will never come off again. That is on there. The only way to get it off is to squeeze this tab and the tab on the other side. And I will go ahead and squeeze these. And actually I'm going to squeeze this part here and this part here. Hard to show, but once you squeeze it, it will then come off. Notice that the clip remains attached to the metal fitting, and that's because there's some additional tabs right here that lock on the other side of this metal flange here. So this clip stays, and in fact, when you order filters, some of them come with these clips already in place. But whether they come with the filter or with the connector, you need that clip in place. But if you ever want to reconnect this, you simply push it on and it clicks on again. And this is why it's a quick connect, because you simply squeeze the tabs to remove, you press back on to attach. And if you don't think that's a good connection, a good leak-free connection, keep in mind that this technology is on literally millions of automobiles that drive for years and years. But talk about a time-proven technology to attach a high-pressure hose onto a filter and being able to quickly remove it by simply grabbing the tabs and pulling it off. The same is for both sides. This filter is marked with the out, probably hard to read, but obviously the fuel direction needs to go in one direction. Now, without the white clip, there is no secure connection. Nothing will keep it on. So, got to have a white clip on there. This clip can be removed. I will need to use a screwdriver to lift the tab on each side simultaneously. So it's a little tricky, not too bad, but basically you're just bending them outward and then it will pull off. Now, it is the case that if you're removing one of these after 5 or 10 years, the plastic may be a little brittle, and people have been known to break these when prying them off not so carefully. These clips, of course, can be ordered separately. They also come with these. By the way, a pair of these quick connect components with the clips is literally about $8 for a pair, depending what size you get. And also, these come in 90 degrees so that the hose comes up at a 90 degrees to the fitting and then into the filter.
Consider this: when a filter is this easy to change, even when it's in a tight location, it will get changed more often. Here is a clever use of a quick disconnect system. The quick connect fittings have been placed at the ends of a series of hoses with the filter in the middle. This might make sense when you have buried your filter in a partially enclosed area in a fuselage or wing. You can now quickly disconnect the two ends, then fish the assembly out for a filter change and hose inspection. Then fish it back in place and reconnect.
Now, consider the following. You want to try your system without the fuel filter in place. Let's say you suspect it's blocked, or there's some sort of flow constriction. What's nice about the quick disconnects is you can use this piece. This is simply a male-to-male jumper, if you will. It goes straight through and allows you to, after disconnecting your filter, simply plug this in here, plug your other end in here, and now you have a jumpered system with the fuel filter out of the circuit. So it is nice to be able to disconnect and reconnect for testing, or in the case where you don't have a good filter. And there you have it. Consider using quick disconnect fuel fittings on your next home built project. I have seen aircraft and ultralights with fuel filters that look like they have never been touched since the day they were installed. Because who wants to wrestle with pulling off old fuel lines and clamps? So in the meantime, everyone, back to building. Is it quick disconnect or quick connect? What's the right way to put that?